There's so many amazing fragrances in this kitchen right now. Can you tell we're back in the Middle East? And welcome back to Cliffieland. This is Week in Country number 150 on our second attempt of cooking the food of every single country in the world. And tonight we're up to the nation of Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, the largest nation in Western Asia, takes up most of the Arabian Peninsula in the Middle East and is bordered by Iraq, Jordan, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Yemen, and Oman. And its food is pretty typical of that of the Middle East in that it is influenced by the Turkish, Persian, Indian, and African traditions. You'll find lots of dishes involving chicken and fish and rice, as well as locally grown fruits and dates. Their food is always going to be adhering to the Islamic tradition in that there will be no pork or pork products used. There's a great tradition of fine Arabian coffees, but one of the most popular dishes is one that we've seen around here before, which is called the makbous. We actually made a chicken makbous way back when we cooked the food of Bahrain. First time around, we wound up accidentally doing it for at least 4 different countries. And this time, we're kind of not doing it, and we kind of are, because tonight we're making a fish kabsa. Kabsa is another name or version of makbous, but this time we're doing it with fish. And we're also going to be doing a salad with that. But before we get into this, we need to talk about how things went when we did this whole thing before. Well, 4 years ago on the Global Cooking Challenge, I got to cook over 2 nights, and the first night I cooked for company, and the first night I made this fish kabsa with cilantro and pine nuts. It was a really huge dish. It was really delicious. The only downside was that I chose tilapia for the fish, which is a fine fish to eat, but it doesn't have a whole lot of flavor, so that kind of suffered that way. This time we're going to be using halibut instead, which should help increase the yum factor there. And we served that with a tabbouleh. A tabbouleh is a Middle Eastern salad made with parsley. It was really delicious. However, I don't recommend serving that for a dinner party because you wind up looking at each other with parsley in each other's teeth, which is really not what you want to be seeing on that moment. Now, the second night we made 2 dishes. The first dish we made a Saudi lamb pizza, which was okay. I wound up making my own dough. I screwed up on that a few different ways. You can check out the blog if you want to read about that. But it was okay. It was kind of dense, and we're not doing that one again this time. And we served that with a salad that we're going to be making tonight, which is an Arabian spinach salad with chickpeas, which was super delicious, and I'm looking forward to doing that one again. So, all that being said, we need to see what go into tonight's 2 dishes. First, for our Saudi fish kabsa, we'll need 2 pounds of fish fillet. We're using a firm white fish, halibut in this case, cut into 2-inch pieces. A half a cup of water, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 6 garlic cloves crushed, 1 large onion diced, 2 cups of rice. We're using basmati here and we'll be soaking it, 3 cups of vegetable stock, half a tablespoon of Arabic baharat spice mix, sea salt and freshly ground black pepper to taste, 4 tablespoons of butter, a 1/4 cup of pine nuts which will be toasted in a dry frying pan, and a 1/4 cup of fresh cilantro. And then for our Arabian spinach, we'll need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 onion sliced, 2 garlic cloves crushed, about 3.5 cups of fresh spinach, washed and shredded, 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds, 1 15-ounce can of chickpeas, which will be drained and rinsed, 1 tablespoon of butter, and salt and pepper. That looks really great, but a note about that Baharat spice mix. I wound up making that for an earlier country just like I had last time around, and it may have been sitting around for a little while longer, so if you can't find it pre-made, I suggest making it fresh and not storing it for too long. That being said, we've got to get cooking. First, rinse the rice until the water runs clear, and soak the rice for 30 minutes. Then into a large pan over medium heat, place the butter, onions, and garlic, and cook until softened. Add the Baharat spice mix, and mix well. Carefully add the fish, and allow it to cook halfway on each side until lightly pink white, about 1 minute or less on each side. Remove the fish-onion mixture and set it aside. Add the tomato paste to the pan, add the half a cup of water, and cook briefly. Drain the rice and add it to the pan. Add the vegetable stock and carefully place the fish mixture on top. Raise the heat to high and allow it to come to a full boil. Cover and reduce to low, and allow it to cook until the rice and fish are thoroughly cooked. Depending on the thickness of the fish fillets and the rice type, you may need to adjust your timing. Meanwhile, toast the pine nuts in a dry skillet, oven, or toaster oven. In a large saucepan, heat the olive oil over medium heat. Add the sliced onions and saute until softened, about 2 to 3 minutes. Meanwhile, drain and rinse the chickpeas. Add the garlic, add the cumin seeds, and fry for another minute. Add the spinach in stages, stirring as the leaves wilt. Stir in the drained chickpeas, stir in the butter, add salt and pepper to taste, and reheat until bubbling. You may serve the kabsa on a platter family style or on individual plates. Plate servings of the kabsa, plate servings of the spinach, dress the kabsa with the toasted pine nuts, and chopped cilantro, wipe plates and serve. How'd that all turn out? Well, it was really delicious. Let's start off with that fish kabsa. That was very nice. The pine nuts were toasted perfectly on top. The cilantro gave it a nice bit of herbaceous flavor, and the halibut really was the right choice for it because it really gave some nice flavor to the dish. It had really subtle flavors, and my only complaints were maybe I think that the half a cup of water that was in there with the tomato paste may have been a bit much because it just gave, like that much runniness to the water, and the dish wasn't quite ready on time, so I don't know about that. Also, again, as I suspected, my Baharat spice mix was probably a little old because the flavors were kind of muted. If I was doing it again, I would make sure to have it fresh to get the really punch of those flavors. Still, I really enjoyed it. Gonna give that one 4 out of 5 globes. If I made it again, like I said, fresher spices there. But on to that salad. That Arabian spinach salad was superb. It was delicious. The chickpeas gave that nice bit of earthiness. It had the sweetness from the onions. The cumin gave it a nice bit of flavor too. And I just really loved it. It was fantastic. So simple. So I'm going to give the Arabian spinach salad 5 out of 5 globes. A really, really delicious warm salad. I probably should make that for my next potluck. So that does it for Saudi Arabia. Tune in next time when we head back over to Africa to have the food of Senegal. See you then. And remember, if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, please be sure to follow us on Periscope. You can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Like and subscribe if you'd like to be advised when these videos are posted, and be sure to hit that bell to get those notifications. Remember, links to the original recipes can be found in the About section. If you have any thoughtful feelings or helpful suggestions about the food we're eating, please be sure to sound off in the comments. Thanks for watching and happy eating!